Welcome to Sharpen the Spear podcast, where we help manufacturing executives command the front and win the floor. I'm Richard Walsh, creator of the Sharpened Impact methodology, and I spent decades helping leaders transform frontline teams, unlock hidden profit, and capture capacity they didn't even know they had. If you want to see where your leadership gaps are costing you and how to fix them, head over to grittolead.com and run the free Sharpened Impact Simulator today. Let's sharpen your edge and get started. And we are back on STS Sharpen the Spear podcast with another incredible guest. I've got Ryan Wimpey with us. And Ryan, no one knows Ryan better than Ryan. So Ryan, we need the backstory, bring us up to speed, and we'll get into the conversation.
What's up, Richard? Glad to be on, man.
Happy to have you here.
Yeah, so I run a dog training franchise company. It's Tip Top Canine Dog Training. We currently have 25 locations across the United States. We have trained over 30,000 dogs, like tons of dogs. So we currently employ 120-something dog trainers, have a few more locations coming in. But it didn't start that way, right? I started dog training in 2010. I got this little rescue dog off the side of the road and realized why he was on the side of the road. Oh, he had all these behavioral issues. Aggression, potty training, pulling on the leash, running away. I mean, I'd literally chase him for an hour at a time. And he would walk and choke himself and gag, and it was like embarrassing. It was causing roommate issues. My first roommate, he moved out. This was, 16 years ago. And then the second one threatened violence on the dog and myself. It caused some issues. So I am familiar with dog training pain. And that kind of is what got me into dog training. I started Tip Top Canine in 2010. We've been professionally training since then. I started training with other trainers around 2007, 2008. And it's grown. We now have a call center. We work with marketing teams. We have a products company that provides support for them. And our franchisee is normally they're owner-operators. They come from multiple different businesses. We have truck drivers, real estate agents, pest control salesmen, HVAC techs, youth pastor. Like, we help everyday people own their own business in the dog training space. And the startup cost for 6 weeks of training and owning a franchise is $48,000, which in the franchise space, you really can't get much for under 150. Right. Yeah, super cheap. So that's a little bit about where we're at, man.
That's awesome. So I know a little bit about dog training.
Yeah.
I used to work dogs back in the day. I did Schützen work, so I work with shepherds and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of working dogs. So a lot of fun. And I just finished 2 books. This is total coincidence on my trip. It's called My Years with the Dog Man, Mike McConnery. Don't know if you know who he is, but amazing books. This, and there's a second volume of it, even bigger. That awesome. So I'm just tying all this in, Ryan. See that? Well, I finished my second one on the plane on the way home for my trip last week. So everything's good. But I love the fact that, like most businesses, they come from a need. Okay, you're solving a problem, and you got this dog that's ruining everyone else's life. Obviously, it wasn't ruining yours.
I loved it.
Chasing a lot of other people away, right? So we all get that. We all got a little quirks with the dogs and stuff. But to go start training them and do that. So I want to walk through this a little bit with you, because if it's 2010 now, you got this dog, you want to start doing this stuff, and you start to get that dog under control. Is that how it all started?
Yeah. So it started with that dog, that particular dog. I was driving hour and a half, meeting with trainers. I'm reading books. I'm watching videos, trying to figure it out. And nothing was really working, right? And so eventually, I didn't actually fix that dog. That was in 2005 or so. What I eventually had to do is roommates kept leaving, and I was a broke college student. I didn't have enough money to live on my own. So I had to send that dog to live with my mom. And it was highly embarrassing. And I was super sad, and she never gave the dog back. So then when I got my next dog, I was like, hey, I have to figure out something that's going to work. And on him, I used positive reinforcement with the treats, negative reinforcement, pinch collar, squirt bottles, stuff like that. Today, we use a method of classical conditioning with an e-collar. And instead of getting a dog that's either reward or punishment based, we condition a response with a mild muscle stim overlaid with a verbal command. And I'm able to transfer that easily, like to 80-year-old people, 9-year-old girls. It doesn't matter. Once I condition the behavior of the dog,
Just put the collar on the 80-year-old.
exactly. You nailed it, Richard. That's it.
You will do what I tell you, and you'll like it. Yes, I like it.
Yeah, so it's no dog whispering. I'm conditioning a response. So basically, if you think of like Pavlovian conditioning with the food and the bell, if someone else comes in and they ring that same bell, the dog still salivates, right? So that's kind of the power of classical conditioning. It's very transferable. I can hand off the tool and the dog responds the exact same way.
Yeah, that's great. So, but again, here we go. Like you figure this out. You go to all the other trainers, and this is a good takeaway, actually. A lot of people think there's a lot of experts out there. Okay.
Sure.
The world today is full of more experts. And I heard a great thing about experts once was sometimes they get so siloed, they're not looking at anything else. So you go get the expert opinion on this, but it doesn't work with this. And you get this expert and they all kind of collide and nothing works together. So you get this culmination of experts that can't really help the big picture. You know what I mean? But you had to go, okay, well, I'm going to just work the dog and let's see what I get. Then go work another dog and see if the dogs are the problem or if I'm the problem.
But sometimes, so I got two things on that. One, they say some people call themselves a guru because they can't spell charlatan, right?
Right.
But then the other side, just like in the medical profession, you have a specialist with 18 years experience, but then if it's slightly out of his scope, he can't help with that.
That's it.
Right? So I do pet obedience only. I do one thing, and we do it better than anybody else. It's just strictly, hey, I need the dog to come. I need him to sit down, sit on a box. I need to transfer it to everyone. And in the dog world, everyone trains very differently. And if you want to build a big following, having a very specific niche, such as Schutzhund, an IPO dog, Mondio ring, whatever, like PSA, all these guys have their own little specific niche, and then they become very, very big in that niche. But it's a very specific skill set. So like the police canine handlers, a lot of them are the trainers, like say Ted Summers. He's a pretty famous one out there. He's probably not going to get along great with the Mondio ring people.
Right.
They're not going to see eye to eye on stuff, and they have a different focus.
It's like martial arts.
Exactly. 100%.
And here's the thing, Ryan. Okay, so I always tell people, I'm a boxer. I have a black belt, first degree black belt in Taekwondo, and I've done all the stuff, right? So people say, well, my form, we whoop you guys, and I went, okay, well here let me just clarify this, okay? So are we going by Taekwondo rules or by Shidokan rules?
Right.
Because if we go by Taekwondo rules, you're done. If I go by Shidokan, I'm done. I go, so it's apples and oranges, my man.
Yeah.
Like if you're talking about now, you want to throw down right here, like street fight, you're done. Okay, I'm going to finish you. Okay, because I won't use any Taekwondo. I'm going to break you in half. Okay, I think it'd be pretty. So you know what I mean. So you get this where people think their way, this way. I'm like, well, it depends again on
the goal.
Yeah, here's the goal. What's the rules? What's what's the context of doing this? And I love that you really narrowed it down to the basic control thing, because most people don't have that. I have a woman down the road. We're kind of out in farm country. You know when they got the dog that drags them around, the poor old lady? The thing is wild. Luckily, they got the invisible fence, but it's just this little thing that is just bananas all the time. And these people are like 80, and I'm like, it's just watching them. I just laugh every time I drive by. I'm like, that thing is so out of control. They can't control the thing at all. It's hilarious. Yeah, right. I'm gonna pass your name along. Mm-hmm. But it's but again, you take that. So you get your dog, you learn this, you go, when did you come with really honing into just the basics as a business model? When did that come to you? Was that kind of a trial and error where you bouncing around figuring things out when you said, hey, I can't be all things to all people, so what should I do?
Yeah, we have people come and they say, hey, I'd like to do some duck dog training. And I'm like, okay, well, I force fetched one dog. Sure, I could try on this dog, right? Hey, I'd like to do some protection training. Okay, well, I can handle the dog. I don't know how to decoy, but I can bring in a decoy from the local Schutzhund club, right? And then quickly realized, like, hey, unless I'm specializing, I'm not able to deliver that repeatable result. So for us, I'm looking for pet obedience. So like you were talking about the rules, my rule is, can I transfer it and how fast can I do it?
Yep.
I want to be able to take it to anyone and I want to show them how to get their dog to do basic obedience as fast as possible. And the rule for me is, can they replicate what I'm doing in 10, 15, 20 minutes? And the dog listen to them the exact same way for me. Right? That's what I'm doing. And if I'm not specializing in doing one thing, so like I was just working with a new trainer downstairs, and he's going to if he stays with the company corporate over the next few years, he's going to teach come and place and sit and down and heel the same way on a couple hundred dogs. The exact same way, exact same process, no tomfoolery or making up something new every time. So then what's going to happen is that 301st dog, he's got that process dialed in. But if we change it every single time, it's just like anything else. If you create a system and a process, you streamline it, and you get repeatable results.
Yeah. Do your franchisees, do they really understand that model and what you're trying to accomplish? So, because I got a series of questions here that have come into my mind. Okay. So as a business guy, here's what I'm thinking. Okay. You got the sit and the come and the down and all, you got those things. It's great. Okay. Where's the ecosystem in the business with each customer? When does it end? How do you expand it? What else are you providing? Right? Because it's great if you teach them in 20 minutes or 2 days or 3 days and they're done. You made whatever you made, and you never make another dime from them again until they get another dog. But now they know how, so they don't need you then. So I'm looking up and I'm being, that guy. I'm just like, what else? You're selling a lot of dog treats? I mean, what are you doing for the ecosystem of the business?
Yeah, so we don't have a lot of repeatable sales, right? We don't have a recurring revenue stream. So like if you think of like a doggy daycare or a boarding center, they might charge $35 a day, but they have recurring. We're charging around $230 to $300 an hour, but it's not recurring. But they're charging around doctor money, right? So they're getting big results very quickly, but it's not recurring. So they're going to have to like other services like plumbing or something like that. You're going to have to generate those consistent customers.
Right, right. So with that being said, have you run the dog numbers and go, okay, there's like 75 million dogs running around, and if we get $300 per dog, and in the general area you can do 750 dogs, or okay, that's not so bad. You know what I mean? I don't know. I do these weird things in my head, Ryan, just because I love the business, and I always look at like, well, do you top out? Do you got to move to a different region? Do you give these guys different regions? How does that kind of work?
Most of them have regions. So like in the DFW area, currently we have 9 locations.
Okay.
Right. So separate owners, but 9 locations.
6 million people in DFW.
It's not even full. There's still
right. I know. It's Texas. It's Texas. Okay. Yeah. But that's 6 million people. Nine regions.
Okay? Oh yeah.
So that's
most of them are doing around 400,000 to 500,000 people. Would be like an area or a territory.
Right. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. You stay busy.
Yeah, because that keeps it to 30-minute drive times, because we've tried to explain to people is the difference between 30-minute and 45-minute to an hour-long drive times. If you do private lessons, you're doing 20%, 30% less appointments every day.
Yeah, it's just too much windshield time. You can only listen to so many podcasts, including this one. Okay, so I'm starting to see the picture. Okay. That's really good. So, and you've been doing this 15 years now?
Yep.
Okay. So, again, I love this. I'm just kind of workshopping this whole thing in my own mind here, Ryan. So, you're across the country now with these? Yeah. Okay, that's awesome.
I think 11 states right now. So
okay, that's really good. That's really good. Again, low barrier to access, even though people might think 48 grand's a lot, it's not. It's nothing. Okay, it's nothing to get into a systemized business. So
our average revenue the last 2 years is around $550,000, the average per location, and about half of them are home based still.
Yeah. Well, why not?
Yeah.
Like, man, I'd be home based. What do you need? You're going to the dog.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and you're and it's like a 95% profit.
Yeah. So if you want to do the board and trains where we take the dogs and train them, those range anywhere $2,500 to like $7,000.
Oh, gotcha.
You can only have a few of those in your house before you start capping out.
Yeah. or your wife starts kicking you out. One of the.
When
Yeah.
I first got married, I was in the middle of, I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I lived in the middle of the city in a 1,400 square foot house, and I would have 8 to 10 dogs at a time. When I first got
Wow.
married, employees would come to my house at 7 a.m. and my wife was very patient for like a year and a half, and then she was
Yeah.
like, "Okay, this is kind of."
Yeah.
But
You've brought work home. You've taken it way too
the
literal.
profitability was so high.
Yeah, I know. I hear you, brother. It's and there are those things to consider too. Again, I'll go back to the $48,000, buy-in,
Yeah.
and you have very little overhead. Okay, and
Oh,
I'm totally guessing here. Correct me. I'm just, you're driving to locations. Okay, and like you said, a half hour radius, somewhere around there. But you're driving to that, so it's half hour out, half hour back. You get $300 an hour. You're doing great for the hour you're there, so it all works out. But again, the overhead is so minimal.
correct.
So it's I love when I built custom water features, right, for like 20 years, and I was the best at it, and I had incredible margins. Okay, I mean it was just like
Yeah.
stupid money, and it because no one could do what I do, right? So I did all that, and I get it. I'm like, I remember my father Ryan came out, and he's builds and runs golf courses, all this kind of stuff, and he's seeing this big project come on, and it's 6-figure plus, okay, for
Yeah.
this water feature, and he's like, people pay you that much? And I go, Dad, listen, you could do this probably. They can't. They could buy everything I got. They could stroke a check.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
can't do what I do. And they don't get this result at the end. This is
Right.
tranquility. This is that whole thing. Yes, they do. And no one has ever told me I charge too much. They all say you don't charge enough. And I, of course, jokingly say to them, now that yours is done, I don't charge. But it was always the case, right? So let's talk about this for a minute, because I think on that topic, a lot of people, they don't really understand value.
Right.
Okay, value pricing.
Right.
Okay, for what you're getting. Like, and I always tell people, listen, if the car I want is like $30,000, if it's $30,300, I guess I shouldn't buy it, because I only want it for 30,000. Like, that's not how you value things, right? You'll spend the extra 300 because you want the car, right? So it's not that I got a hard number and I won't go past, unless you're buying something off the side of the road. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. So I think the value drive, which our whole philosophy is always give more than you're being paid for.
100%.
We're more that way. And when you come in laser focused and achieve these things when they couldn't control their dog,
Right.
and you come in and boop, 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 okay, 1 hour, $300, and they have a dog that's controlled for the rest of their life.
Oh yeah.
Okay, they're
They
getting off
understand what
cheap.
to do. They don't
They're
have to be the dog whisperer.
they're getting off cheap.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, yeah.
right? I mean, think about it. It's like that chaos. That I go into someone's house and the dog's like out of his mind. I'm like, I gotta go. Put this thing in a room or something, or I'll train it. Okay, so yeah, I totally get you, but I want to talk about that a little bit, because a lot of people, their first supposed to $300 for an hour. It's a train. It's like, take a breath and understand what you're providing. When you understand what you're providing, it's not really training a dog. That's not what you're right.
Right.
Okay, we're talking peace
Yeah.
in the house, control, a well-heeled dog. I mean, dude, I'm serious. Like,
Peace of mind, literally.
yeah, right. I mean, it's like,
Like not arguing with your spouse over the dog. That's
right, or the dog, just every person who comes to your house gets mauled.
yeah.
Okay, oh, isn't that cute? Not really.
Lack of a lawsuit, lack of a ripped out shoulder.
That's right. You're gonna
That's
get
what we're
that.
selling.
You're
So
gonna
we
get
train
that.
ourselves, guys. We say,
Yeah.
hey, because a lot of times people are like, oh, I've heard you're expensive. And we train them, hey, we are. We are.
You say,
Yeah.
you hang out in the right crowd.
Yeah, we say, yeah, we are. We're and then we say, actually, we're one of the most expensive. But I'm curious, how did you hear about us? That's what we train all of our guys to say.
Yeah.
And most of them are like, oh, well, you were referred from so and so. Oh, what did they have to say about us? All right. Or, oh, I saw your Google reviews. Yeah, there was a lot of Google reviews, huh? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Do you know why? Why we have so many? And they're like, no, why? I was like, because we're professionals. Everyone's an amateur. So we charge professional prices.
That's right.
We're not part-time.
That's it.
It's all we do. And then, so we go out, we do a consult. Those dogs are coming off leash. We fix jumping in like 10, 15 minutes at a $1 consult. And they say, well, dear God, this is what they did in 10 minutes. What are they going to do if I pay them? This was $1.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it's at. Really, and I'm telling you, the value proposition. That's what it is, right? Unique selling proposition, but I call it value proposition on what you're bringing. Again, it's not so like you're just saying with your sales guys. This is what they're doing. You're not selling dog training.
Correct.
That I mean that, and a lot of people I do it with landscapers, and I do it with plumbers, and I do it with everybody, right? So you're not selling what you think you are. You're not selling unclogging the toilet. Okay, what are you really selling? When it's overflowed, you're okay. We don't have to get into it, right? That's not what they want you to do. They want their the life back, the smell, the real candle smell. You know what I mean? They want that, and it's really important for business owners to understand this aspect, especially when it comes down to pricing, because most people price absolutely wrong. I mean, I consult with so many business owners. I'm like, the first thing I want to do, I just come, well, we're probably going to raise your prices.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think well, when was the last time you did? I don't know, maybe like 5 years ago. Oh, wow, 5 years. Have you been awake for the last 5 years? Have you bought a hamburger? Okay, that costs $15 and it's garbage. Okay, like come on. So we start there because just a price increase, right? If you raise from 300 to 320, okay, that $20 is 100% profit. 100% profit, right? Now, if you discounted 10%, okay, you can take 10% off the 300. That's 30, right? Now you got to do 33% more work just to equal the same profit that you had before.
I don't think anybody gets that.
No one gets that. And it's like, I have to repeat it. I go, here, let me draw a little picture. Here's 30 apples and you got this. Now you're going to have to get this many apples, okay, just to make up the same that you had in this pile. I go totally second grade, okay, to explain this stuff because like, and they don't get it. I go, you don't understand. And here's the newsflash I always give people too. And no one just charges discounts 10%. It's always 20 or 30. I said, here's the studies. It doesn't influence someone's purchasing decision until you hit 40% discount.
That's good.
So like run that one. Do those 40%. It's
crazy.
You're bankrupt. Okay. You're done. You're done in 6-8 months. You're finished if you offer something like that, right? So it's, again, the tie back into the value. When you're driving high value, that peace of mind, the whole picture, 300 is cheap. I'm saying it's 300 is cheap. Okay. Because I know what the outcomes are and what someone would want who gets it. It's not, oh, I got a puppy, so let me get him dialed in. So I'm sure you do that too, right? Like it's all good, but primarily people, and the rescue dog thing is a big thing now.
It is.
Right? People are like, I mean, I know a lot of people like that's their thing.
Yeah. There's people that their full-time job, which they don't get paid for, is literally taking dogs out of shelters, getting them vetted, getting them trained, and then finding a home for them. We have people, rescue groups, and they're paying $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to get dogs trained. So like our Myrtle Beach location, he gets like 2 dogs a month. Someone's paying him $3,000 to $4,000 to train to rehome for $50. Right. It's insane. Because they're going to be put down. They're going to be put down. They have like one bite on their history or whatever, and then they can put a video up of a trained dog for adoption, and it's gone.
I'm laughing, Ryan. I'm going to share a little story. I told you I was in Albania, just came back, and so my son's at the embassy there. He's in the Marines, and they have a driver, drives wherever they got to go and do all this stuff. Well, they're all a couple, 3, 4 Marines getting in the car with the driver. They start driving. There's a cat in the car, and it starts mauling everyone.
Oh God!
Like so they're grabbing. They get the window down and they throw the cat out the window. Okay, because it's like tearing them up. And they're like, oh man, that was terrible. Wow, must have been a stray got in there. And they pull up. It was the ambassador's cat she rescued.
Oh,
she rescued and all this stuff. Like, we didn't know. I started to laugh. It was pretty hilarious. Okay, but they never found the cat. The cat kind of went somewhere else. It wasn't coming back. But so again, even cats. Maybe we got to get in the cat training business. I don't know. But it was just a funny story I must share.
It's amazing.
I'm still laughing. But yeah, so let's kind of move on a little bit here with with the business aspect. Okay.
Yeah.
So we kind of got what it is. We got a pricing structure and everything else. We understand that, how that's applied, which I think is awesome. Now let's get into the franchise model aspect. Like, when did that come to you? When did you decide, was that, hey, eventually I could do this? Or was it 5 years in, you've trained, 1,800 dogs and you're like, I need help.
Yeah. So what happened is we kept working. So like you're a coach, we worked with other coaches. We've constantly, my wife and I have constantly, used a coach for a few
Good.
years and level up to the next
Good.
coach. Right now, I
Beautiful.
mean, we have a lady, she's been coaching us. Her name is Shannon. She ran a franchise with 150 locations, ran it for 20 years and sold it. So like that's a long time in the industry. Right?
She's got some wisdom to share with you. She's
Absolutely.
going to give you massive time compression.
Yeah, she's expensive,
Yep.
but
Yep.
the people that can compress, we found the people that can compress our time, they are pricey.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't want to spend 20 years figuring it
Exactly.
out.
Give me 10 years in one. That's what I
Yeah.
tell people.
Oh,
10
yeah.
years in one.
It's
You
worth
know?
the price of admission.
Yep.
So what happened is, the original location, mine in Tulsa, Oklahoma, we started putting in systems. We started documenting. My wife took over the admin. She started building out a call center to handle everything and the scheduling, billing, etc. I systemized all the training. One day we wake up and I'm like, hey, everything is basically working if I go or not. So time to go to the next level, right? So we opened up 5 more locations, corporate owned originally, right? We have an operator and with kind of a license agreement and they're running it. And we're paying them a heavy commission, but once a month is kind of how it was structured. And then what happened is they were like, hey, they were originally we were just going to do corporate locations, right? They were like, hey, we'd really like to get paid not once a month, right? Like this is great, it's working good, but this is kind of a thing. What do we need to do to get it to go in, right off the bat? So we actually moved franchising because that's what our people are wanting. So my wife and I were like, hey, we have a few options, right? We can keep them as corporate stores, change the pay structure, etc. But we wanted them to be incentivized financially. But then also, like, anytime someone's just an employee, even if they're highly incentivized in a trade business like dog training, it's a trade. They see I'm making X. This is what's actually coming in.
Yep.
They see it.
Off they go. Yep.
Oh yeah, off they go eventually, right? So we're like, hey, we're gonna have to give them equity at some point. So then we said, well, why don't we just give them all the equity, right? And so we went the franchising route. That way, if there's a bad review, say the bad review is not just on Tip Top Canine, it's on local, it's on that owner. And so it gave them all the pay and all the responsibility, all the ownership. And we think it was the right choice. Franchising's hard. I didn't understand how hard the legal setup actually was.
Yeah.
It was very expensive and it was very hard. But it's working good.
Yeah. It's what a lot of people don't understand too is every state's got different franchise laws.
Yeah, it does.
That's when it starts getting ugly and expensive. Okay, because all of a sudden you got this great system and it's all working, and then you go, and then this state, no, those laws don't apply. They can do whatever they want. So now they're not doing sit, come down. Oh, they're doing this and doing mobile dog grooming. And they're doing this and they're doing all this stuff. It's the old lettuce on the hamburger for Ray Kroc back in the day. It's like you can't systemize. There's a place up here in Illinois. It's called White Hen Pantry. It's like a Circle K or 7-Eleven, something like that. Really cool place. Grew up with it. They moved across here into Wisconsin, and that's when they learned. In Wisconsin, they were selling everything but what White Hen had. I mean, weird boiled eggs and all this pig's feet and all this kind of stuff. And they're like, you can't do it. We can do whatever we want. So they end up pulling out. Like completely shut down in Wisconsin, like we can't.
They're not registered in Wisconsin,
right? There you go.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. They'll be training deer and possum. On the train, like get the raccoons trained. But yeah, I agree with you. But so that's what people don't understand about the complexity of franchise,
right?
And people thinking I was talking to a guy the other day saying Starbucks. I go, that's not a franchise. That's corporately owned. People think certain things are they're not. They're corporately owned, so they can operate. They can keep that consistency and that quality. Right. So what do you? We'll get a little bit in the weeds here with this, but like your operating agreements. Okay, I mean you got a brand. Okay, right. So they're branded, right? They got to kind of adhere to the brand. They're doing specific training, right? Do you kind of give them those guardrails to work in?
Yes, so they're given a lot of guardrails. And it's a little bit more like Dutch Brothers compared to Starbucks setup. So the Dutch Brothers, I don't know if you're familiar as much with their brand, but basically they only let employees open a location. So only someone who like carries the culture, understands everything is opening, but they have slower growth, right? So we do 6 weeks of initial training. Most dog trainers will train like 2 weeks, maybe three. And basically, they get to really see, first off, it vets anybody who's not a hard worker.
Right.
Because 6 weeks, 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, training dogs. Most people are like, can we split it? No. Can we do 8-hour days? No. Right. So it vets a lot of people right there. But basically, they get indoctrinized when they come to corporate.
Awesome.
Right? And they see the systems work. They don't really want to deviate, but we've made it a little bit, kind of a lot on purpose, because I want them to see it, feel it. Because when you work with dogs, anything can work. Like you can dog whisper, you could use treats or pinch collar or whatever, but it's not going to all work 99% of the time. I need an actual system, like a Chipotle style system that's going to work. So I want them to keep seeing it, keep feeling it, and it keep working for them. So then when they leave, and we do yearly trainings too, but I want them to know, hey, following the system is actually in my best interest.
Right. Right. I mean, that's why franchises are desirable.
Yeah.
Because it's done. If you follow it, I do it in even a simple way, not a franchise, obviously, but I'm helping businesses with sales presentations.
Yeah.
Like, well, what do you got? They don't have. I go, you don't have a presentation. You like don't follow? No, it's just okay. Well, we should work on that. Let's build that, and then we'll do role play. And I do video. I do all the training. I did this for all these companies, and I'm like, and when 3 guys out of 4 are hitting like 43 to 47% close rates, and the 4th guy's at 28, we can figure this out. I guarantee he's leaving something out. So you have them do a little role play. Oh, you skip section 3. Yeah, I don't really think it's relevant. And that's why you're at 28%, because we don't have it there because it's not relevant. We have it there because it works. Just like your system. We do this because it works. And if you want a successful business, if I'm going to drop whatever the price is, 48,000 or 480,000, I want something that works. I want a high probability of success because 87 other people have done it. Okay, I'm not the lone wolf out there. You were that, and you figured all this out. Now you got 11 different states, and you got all these. Like, you got to follow the system, and I think that's really hard for a lot of entrepreneurs. And I can raise my hand. I only made it 4 years in the Marine Corps because I don't take direction well. Okay, so it's just that's just me. But I'm kind of thinking of a better way or doing this or that. So I'm not the ideal candidate per se, but a lot of people get that, and they really have to discipline themselves to just focus on the system, follow the plan, right? And then
sometimes franchising's not for the true entrepreneur.
Right.
They're for hard workers. They're for business people. They're for people that want to be in business or own a business, but they don't have to create. Like, I'll vet out really high creative people if they don't have an external outlet, like a hobby to create. Like if they're like, yeah, I'd like to help you with your systems. Oh, thanks. How many years dog training experience do you have? Okay, great. Yeah, no, we have the systems in place, right?
Right.
So like I have a guy coming in 2 weeks for training. He's a head server at a steakhouse, right? In Houston area. He came, we worked dogs for 10 hours. He saw dogs that he's never worked that just came in that day, and he saw them coming off leash. He saw them doing stays. He saw the lessons. He read out through our scripts and everything, and he goes, cool. So I just follow the systems, and then the stuff works. Yes. Okay, cool, because he's basically followed other systems, and it works.
That's right.
Like, but you just have a system for everything, right? Yes, that's a franchise. Awesome. Let me go get $50,000 loan and let's do this.
Right. And then, you know what? And so you're right about the entrepreneur, but I can also say the right entrepreneur goes, oh, this is an incredible income generator I can leverage. So 100%. I'll get other people.
We have both
to train, and I can do that right now. Give me 3 territories and give me 6 territories, and I'll do that and get, they got that, just like any other thing. We have Panera Bread. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Yeah, so all of Northern Illinois, I'm right on the state line on the good side on Wisconsin, but all of Northern Illinois is owned by one person.
Oh, really?
Panera. Yeah. So they make some moves, you know what I mean? Because they saw it, they know how to run a system. They
Yeah.
followed all the letters. Everything's the same at every one of them, and it's those things are super successful. All
Yeah.
these chains. I don't care. Pick a restaurant. You know what I mean? They don't have 700 locations because
Right.
they do things differently.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, we have
it's
multiple. I have a owner that owns four. I have three owners that own three.
yeah,
So
that's
yeah.
great.
So once they understand it, then normally they're like, okay. And once it gets rolling, they train a team, then they're normally starting another one. Or they use one of their guys and they send them out.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, there's so much opportunity in this stuff with the ability to leverage what you have. And again, I really like, Ryan, that you've actually, I really like we're very niched in the service that we provide.
Yes.
Okay, to go back to that, like that's a great takeaway for people, especially in the beginning. Because the thing I always tell people, I go, listen, they want to start a business and they got all these ideas, they want to write all this stuff, and I go, listen, here's what I want you to tell yourself over and over again. How little do I have to do to get started?
Yeah.
Okay. How little do I have to do to get started? That's what you need to think about. Don't think you're going to perfect and we're going to have 9 different offerings and this. Have one. Go see if anyone even wants it. Okay. So if they don't, your losses are minimized.
Right.
Okay. Keep it. There might come a time when you see hey, here's an upsell I could get. I could do this, or I could start another business now because I figured this out. And now you can have 2 businesses. I always tell them they're like apple trees, right? I don't want an 800-foot apple tree.
Right.
Okay, there's one tree and I can't even get up there, and it's a big hassle. And there's big apples up there I can't even see from the ground. I want an orchard. Every business is an apple tree, 20 foot, and it's got beautiful apples and I got 2 and 3, and now I have an orchard. That's entrepreneurship, right? You get it. You don't put all the apples on one tree. That's Amazon. Okay, I don't want to be that. Okay, I don't think so. So it's but seeing opportunities like this, even from an entrepreneurial standpoint, as I look at this, there's other models. Okay,
Right.
again with lower barriers to entry, but great leverage, great systems. Who did I? Oh, a guy told me the other day. There's a franchise got started they remove soft tops off of Jeeps, put hard tops on every year. They store the soft top for you. Guy's got like 5. I mean, he's 5 locations, but 5 is 5.
Yeah.
Who's thinking of that? Who thinks you're making money doing that? But they figured it out, right? Really, really cool. And that is a thing. You ever try to put a hard top on a Jeep by yourself? Okay, it's not so easy. Okay, you don't do it. That's why. we gotta raise things, but whatever. But they come up with these really cool franchise ideas, or even just duplication, privately owned, and they see it and they get out there and they test it. So on that, let me just ask you, because the normal 2 franchise path is you've got to have 2 or 3 locations to prove that it's truly duplicatable. Okay, is that what you did? Did you go, let me get a couple, even if it's someone else, right? It doesn't matter that you did it or someone else, but it's not until you hit like number 3 that you can go, okay, there's potential here, because it's not you. The problem is what people do is they get stuck in the you. I do this. I'm the great trainer. I have 3 locations and I run back and forth like a pinball every day, and I think I want to die. But man, I train a lot of dogs.
I've only had one. So I've only forever had one location. And then we found some people, some of them were clients, and we started advertising, and we started with 5 locations within 6 months.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So we started with 5 locations, all different owners. One got closed and didn't franchise, and he had some personal issues. The other 4 franchised.
Nice.
Yes,
Yeah, that's awesome.
For 2 years in a licensed program where they were paid out in commission, and basically proved the model, fixed the things that didn't work. We extended the training from 4 to 6 weeks. We did full call center support. We decided to take all the marketing, all the products,
Nice.
calendars, invoicing, everything that broke, corporate basically took.
Nice. Yeah, I love it. It's that thing, like it's Culver's, whatever that restaurant. There's like 700 and some of those. They started here in Wisconsin, and they had their first one 7 years.
Yeah.
Before they opened the second one. They really perfected their stuff. Now, I don't care for the place. I won't eat there, but my kids work there. So my kids work there. So that's good. They got some money, but it's a model.
I've been training Tip Top for 7 years before we licensed. And then we did 5 stores for 2 years before we franchised.
See, that's great.
Wasn't speedy fast.
Yeah. It never is. All these people think they just come up with an idea and they turn it in. You can't. I was doing it with gyms. Same thing. I had boot camp style training with a belt system
Yeah.
and all this really cool. But there's no hurry in that. It's not, I got a great idea and watch it blow up in 2 years.
Right.
It just seldom ever works that way, or it does blow up and then it really blows up and it's over because they do it too fast and they haven't perfected everything. And then
Yeah.
you have all these things you haven't thought of. What's an owner going to be able to do legally and everything else? And then you get into the whole legal aspect. I mean, you're going to spend 20 to 60, 80, $100,000 just for franchise legality stuff, right? Putting it all together. So people don't get that either, right? They're so, when that's why when I look at you're saying it's 48 grand, like to
Oh,
buy it, I'm like, this cheap because like what you've had to do just to get to the point of being able to offer a legit franchise.
oh yeah.
You
Oh,
know, it's
comparatively, if someone else wanted to for the service-based businesses, so like even some of our dog training competitors, they're charging $150,000. And a lot of them are more charging that high of a price because that's when the real funding options start. So even if they could do it for cheaper, they want people to take out loans so they
yeah,
can pay salespeople. A franchise game, it's a game like everything else. So there's franchise salespeople, and they normally get 40 to 50% commissions on the sale of a franchise. So they might make big money selling a franchise, but they can only do that if they can work with the right loan people. So if the amount's big enough, then the loan people take it. No one wants to take a $50,000 loan,
right,
right? The loan people aren't making very much money.
right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's really interesting. I was doing some venture capital stuff now myself, and then you get these numbers. They go, well, why this, and why would it be this much? And you start telling me, well, what if I gave you this much? Like a third of that. What can you do with that? I get that question asked today. I go, I do something, but I have this thing. It's called OPM, other
Yeah.
people's money. The more of other people's money, I think I can do even better. So less risk on my end. I'm just joking with them, but I'm like, but there it is. What can you do with a little?
Yeah.
Because I'm already selling the stuff I'm doing. I'm like, well, I'm already going. I'm not looking for this for survival. I'm looking for expanded, accelerated growth.
Right.
That's what I want it for, So I said, I don't need it like to eat. You know what I mean? It's like I want it for expanded growth, for the marketing and my tech that has to be done and everything else. So really interesting. There's so many different arms when you're talking just business in general, but especially going that leveraging a franchise system, because that's what you've done. You've leveraged what you do and it's beautiful.
Yeah, we have
That
people right now, and what took me originally 7 years to do, income wise, people are doing in 1 to 2 years.
right.
What took me 10 years, they're doing in like 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Does everyone want to grow that fast? No. Some people they don't want to hire. They're happy doing the job of dog training because it's so rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what's awesome is to see people hit what I knew like it was really hard for me to do. And 7 years of grinding, hiring a sales coach, hiring a business coach, trying to figure out what to do. And they're just like rocking it. You know?
Well, they're on the backside of your investment.
Correct.
You did it. I mean, that's the time compression.
Yeah.
Right now they can come in and like do that. They don't, and and I don't mean this in a bad way. They don't care what you had to do.
No, they don't care.
They're going to get the benefit, right? So that's just reality, because there's only a few of us who will put in the time, the effort, have the grit to push through that 7 years, 8 years, 10, whatever it is, and come out on the other side. Then also everyone else, of course, that's all they see, right? It's the it's the whatever you call it, the glamour picture on Facebook or something. You only see the good stuff, but they don't get that, and it doesn't matter. I always say, well, it doesn't matter. Okay, if I'm offering a great service, these guys can come and make money. That's beautiful because of what I did, because they couldn't do what I did.
Correct.
But now they can do this. Like this is not hard. I made it so a lot of people can do this, and I can benefit. Right, my hard work now is paying off in spades. That's awesome.
Right.
So, wow, that's really cool, Ryan. That's awesome. What about kind of final things here? Let's think about you're going now. So it's been what 8 years kind of since the franchise started.
Yeah, so it started 2017 licensing, so about 7.
Yeah, 7, 8 years now, so that's good. What's the future? What are you seeing?
We have we're at 25 locations right now. We have I think 3, 4 more coming online in the next few months, and then we're going to 40. And we do a full call center. We do the marketing, product support. So at 40, we're going to pause. Like when we hit 20, we kind of slowed down, pump the brakes, change softwares. We're going to have to At 40, either go to a different call structure. I'm going to have to bring in different level of call center manager for this size because we answer everything. So I mean, we do 5, 10,000 outbound calls a week. We
Uh,
answer a ton of inbound. We do the payments for all 25 locations. So
yeah, that's a lot.
yeah. So the complexity as we scale with the amount of support, we want to keep doing the support because it allows the people to scale much faster.
Right. Right.
Right.
Yeah, that would crush a lot of people.
Oh, the support. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it would just crush them because, and I'll say that because it's like you're out training dogs. Oh,
Absolutely.
I gotta do all that.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks the air out of the room. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
the plumber answering his own phone, running the
yep,
payment plans, chasing them
yep,
down, and trying to
yep.
figure out SEO
Yeah,
and
exactly.
make sure the stuff gets there on time. Like it's never going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. It's
They're going to burn out.
and one of my I have a revisit intake form I do before I go to these big companies, and it's like OTD, on time delivery penalties. What's that number? Give me that number. Like you haven't been able to deliver this on time because you're doing this and that. And you start to look at these things like, oh, 250,000. Oh, because you couldn't get things done on time. Wow, we can fix that.
Yeah,
We'll take care of that real quick. But that's what happens, right? When you're mired in the weeds of the business, which
right.
has to get done. Right. I ignored it for 20 years. I lost everything. Okay. Like I said, all I thought business was making money. Isn't that business? Just make money. It's
That's
good.
it.
Well, there's a whole lot on the other side, a lot more you got to do. And you can only ignore it for so long. And then when the economy crashes, it just ends it like someone chopped your head off. It's over like in a day. So, at least that was, well, it was quick. But it is important. I love that you guys have taken that on because that's a lot for a guy who's spent 7, 8 years struggling, building this thing out. Then you're getting these franchises. Now you're like, okay, let me take all the hard work still.
Sure.
Let me do all this for them.
Absolutely.
You're being compensated in some way or another with it, but handling that so these guys can thrive.
Yeah.
That's a culture thing too for a business and a franchise.
Well, our goal is I want someone to stay for a long period of time. And I want one owner to have multiple locations. And so like the guy that's coming in right now, he's a server, right? He's never employed admins, listened to recorded phone calls, right? He's never talked to marketing companies before. Like when we first started licensing, I gave them all a 20-page order doc. Hey, here's your 20-page order doc of here's the 15 different places to order. Here's what paper to tell them. Here's how to tell them to embroider shirts. Give them here's everything. All I did was get phone calls, and I gave them the list of everything. Yeah. It's because it's not their normal thing. You know what I mean? Right. They're dog trainers. They're owners, but they don't. And that's I can do that. I can have someone do that task for $15 an hour. That's right. They're billing at $300 an hour. Why the crap would they do that task?
That's right. That's what it's all about. We teach that all the time. Why are you cleaning the toilets? You're the highest paid guy here. What are you doing? I tell them all the time, like, do you know what I'll do seminars, Ryan. I ask everyone, and okay, everyone give me their hourly. How much you worth as owners? $100, $150 an hour. And I'm like, really? And that's the norm. Really? I'm like, no, you're not. I said, when we get it done, I'm going to show you, you're like $1,500 an hour. Okay. And up. Like, you got to start thinking that way. This $100 an hour stuff was like, no, that's not who you are. And if you are operating that, that's why your business is stuck, because you're doing work you shouldn't be doing. You know what I mean? We always talk about, working on your 5%, the 5% of the business only you can do. Right. No one else can do that. Everything else other people can do. Let them focus on the 5% because that's what, like you're doing, that's what's going to take the company. That's what's going to grow. That's what you're going to be able to scale because you're focused on that. Just like your dog training, just like the niche, you focus on certain things so you can deliver results. It's the same thing in ownership. You got to understand what only you can do and delegate the rest. And then you'll have rapid success, but you'll have peace of mind.
That's it, man.
Yeah. I had a mentor who was talking one day, and someone was in his house, and he was in California. And he goes, "Your clock stopped," and he goes, "Well, yeah, changing batteries isn't in my 5%." I mean, straight up, like legit, because he's the master of 5%. I'm like, okay, I like that. I like that a lot. It's like that's not my thing. That's not my 5%. I won't even go change the batteries in the clock. You know what I mean? There's a man who's kind of focused. Okay. And he grew a massive franchise, so it was pretty cool. So yeah. Oh, this is just awesome. Ryan, this has been a lot of fun. Well, how do people get in touch with you? Follow you? I know you can do the whole Tip Top Canine. What do they got to do? Maybe they're interested now in getting a franchise.
Sure. If you're interested in getting a franchise, you can go to tiptopcanine.com, click the franchising button, fill out a form, and one of our team members will call you. If you want to connect with me, I'm on LinkedIn. That's about the only place. We're huge on YouTube. We just hit 700,000 followers yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you can check us out on YouTube. But currently I'm only on LinkedIn, Ryan, R-Y-A-N, Wimpey, W-I-M-P-E-Y, if you want to hit me up if you got any questions, and love to chat with you.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, that is fantastic. What an interesting conversation. And I love what you've done. I think it's a really cool, you hear there's a lot of dog franchises, but
Sure.
this is unique. Okay. I talked to a
Yes,
lot of
it
people
is.
and stuff, and just that narrower focus, I really love. I have a high appreciation for that, and it's really working for you. And I'm sure it'll continue to do that as well. So, best of luck to you and everything you're doing, man. Keep me in the loop.
Will do, Richard. Thanks for having me on, brother.
Absolutely my pleasure. And for everybody else, we'll see you on the next STS podcast. Thanks for joining me on the Sharpen the Spear podcast. If you're a manufacturing executive and you're serious about unlocking hidden profit, improving frontline leadership, and taking control of your floor, go to grit2lead.com right now. Run the free Sharpened Impact Simulator and discover your biggest opportunities are hiding. Don't leave millions on the table. Sharpen your spear, lead from the front, and win the floor. Until next time, stay sharp.